Okay, this is Revelations 2 verse 10. It say, Fear not all, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. Yisekal halayam wahawadla Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Right, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone and Rule Well. Peace and blessings to the Aki around the world, that do this work and follow. And the 1 or 2 Akwats that actually sincere and follow also. Shalom.
2 weeks of important testimony is underway in the case against Khalid Sheikh Mohammed and 4 other men charged in the 9/11 terror attacks. At a U.S. military courtroom in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, James Mitchell, the psychologist who helped develop the CIA's torture program used at CIA black sites after 9/11, testified in open court for the first time. RT's Trinity Chavez is joining us live from New York with the latest on his pre-trial testimony. So what happened, Trinity?
That's right, Manila. Dr. Mitchell opened his testimony by telling the defense that the only reason why he had gone to Guantanamo was to testify in person in front of the families of the victims from 9/11. Mitchell, along with his colleague, Bruce Jessen, was paid $81 million in 2002 to create enhanced interrogation techniques, which included sleep deprivation, waterboarding, and other methods that many classify as torture. In fact, Mitchell and Jessen reportedly waterboarded Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, the accused mastermind behind the 9/11 attacks, 183 times at a CIA black site in Poland in 2003. However, during his testimony, Mitchell defended his actions, saying that he was countering the threat of an imminent attack and said that it was his patriotic duty, that he was, quote, protecting American lives. Meantime, the defense requested a motion to suppress statements made by Mohammed and other 9/11 defendants while they were being held in detention after they were brought even from the CIA's black site to Guantanamo, saying that the statements that the men had made during that time were not voluntary because of the profound impact of their prior torture, which was overseen by Mitchell and Jessen. Author and anti-war activist Sarah Flounder says that the torture tactics simply don't work.
This isn't just 1 or 2 people, Mitchell and Jennings. This was an entire unit set up in order to use torture and to study how to apply the most excruciating forms of torture, of pain, of waterboarding, of slamming, of packing into tight boxes, of stress positions, and on and on. So how could you justify any of this? And none of this torture provided any real information, of course, not that would even be an excuse. It was done to hundreds of prisoners. There were also hundreds of secret prisons, secret rendition, interrogation centers. All of this really has to be exposed.
Now, the torture techniques were approved by the Bush administration and were used by the CIA as a part of a rendition, detention, and interrogation program from 2002 to 2008. The program was renounced in 2009 after the Senate found it to be a violation of U.S. and international law and failed to generate usable information for counterterrorism operations. Meantime, another important point about this trial is, in fact, that it is very secretive. There are so many restrictions, very few, if any, media personnel are allowed in, and it's transmitted by closed-circuit television to a viewing room at Fort Meade on a 40-second delay, so intelligence officers can cut the transmission at any point if they want to suppress any information that's disclosed in the courtroom, which is extremely concerning for many.
How can you have a fair trial with people who've been held in total secrecy, whose testimony is based on torture? The media isn't allowed in except for conditions so strict that they can't even have a picture of the courtroom. All the testimony is restricted. None of this, layers and layers of secrecy is about providing any kind of justice or accountability or even of information.
Because we know America is not about justice. Justice in the American eyes is just simply what they say is right and wrong. Because that is their mindset that they are gods. And whatever they say is determined as right or wrong. Right? And this is one of the ways that the scriptures say they would cause all small and great. because there are some people who they would actually try to get to take the chip in ways to make it appear that it's something fun or something, something beneficial. But for the ones that are not influenced by that way, it have other harsh ways that they will try to encourage them to take it, probably with threats of death, you understand, with torture and all of these different things. Like there's talk about rehabilitation camps. They say even Kanye went to a rehabilitation camp because some mental breakdown he had. He went to a rehabilitation camp. At least they claim he had a mental breakdown. After he went to the camp, before he went to the camp, he used to come out and talk about things like white people giving people in Africa AIDS by injecting them, and saying that white people don't like black people and all these different things. After he went to that rehabilitation camp, now he and Trump is best friends. He talking about slavery is a choice. You understand? And all these different things. So you can see that wherever methods they're using them, it messy brain up. You understand? And they even talk about these things like concentration camps, like these FEMA camps. These are the kind of things that they actually prepared to do certain people to get them to conform to whatever it is, that they will want them to do. Which is one of those things that what the chip. The scriptures say what in Revelations 2, I just read it, say the devil will cast some of you into prison and you'll be tried. And that tried means what? To be tested. They say be thou faithful unto death. Because some of them, when you don't want to conform, eventually they might kill you. Unless the Lord makes some way for you to escape, you will end up dying. And that might be your ultimate trial. Right, so the Revelations 13 verse 16, you see, and he caused it all, and that cause, like I say, is by many different ways, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. And that time actually coming, you're actually seeing symptoms of all these things coming closer and closer, and all these things that they're doing to prepare all these FEMA rights, and how the apostle went into the other day about all the orders, all the different orders that they're setting up. I forget what is the original term for it. Something order. Where they can restrict like public transport and seize a lot of stuff and make people do certain work and so forth. Executive orders. To whatever. All these executive orders they put into place is for these things to make sure that things go according to plan, according to how they want it to go. And for the ones that not down for that plan, they will be classed as what? As terrorists. And when that time does come, these are different methods that they would use to get people to comply. And for the ones that still don't want to comply, they will have to be killed.
Now, many believe the methods created by James Mitchell and Bruce Jessen set back the global fight against torture and had a rippling effect around the world by setting a precedent that this kind of torture is acceptable. As for the start of the actual trial, that's scheduled for January 2021. Back to you, Manila.
Hey, YouTube, thanks for checking out our channel.
And the Lord actually bringing out this information. Because why? The men of the Lord, they had to be ready in that mindset. Because the kind of things the scriptures say in that time, it's going to be worse than any other time. So in that time, you had to expect a lot of terrible stuff, especially knowing that you don't know what the Lord have in store for you. Because not all of us will be captured. Some of us will be preserved until the end. Some of us will end up just being beheaded. We don't know what the Lord have in store for us. You understand? But all these different things that the Lord's showing is like different snippings of what could be the outcome of any of us. You had to be mentally ready in that sense. You don't know what kind of trials the Lord will put you through in that time. You understand? Anyway, hope it was edifying. With that, I say shalom.